Jai Gajanan. Ganeshaya Namastubhyam. Herambaya Ekadantine. Swanandavasini Tubhyam. Brahmanaspataye Namaha. With humble pranams to all Paramacharyas, Acharyas and Gurus. Let us continue our study into the Jnana Sara from where we left off in the earlier session. Sanaka asks now, please tell us the order of worship of the Panchayatana Devas. Panchayatana Devas, we know, are Shiva, Vishnu, Shakti, Surya, and Ganesh. First, we begin the worship with Ganesh, for removal of who's a lord for removal of all obstacles, and then we worship the favorite deity, and then followed by the worship of the other four devas, Ishvaras, in a particular order. So this is what Sanaka is asking Ganaka Rishi. Ganaka said, during a Nama Kirtan Yagna, do japa of Moola mantra, keeping in mind the protocol. One should worship the five gods. So even in the worship of these five Ishvaras, we need to do the Nama Japa also in that particular order alone. So we should maintain and remember that protocol. One should conclude by reading the passages from Vedas or Upanishads, Itihasas or Puranas, and Mimamsas. Include even this is applicable even to yogis. In self-study, the yagna and Nama Kirtan yagna, doing kirtan of one name alone becomes Nama Kirtan of one name. Mantras are of four types according to the Vedas and Upanishads. The Veda mantra which begins with Gananam Tva Ganapategam Havame. It is for worshipping Ganesha. We can chant when we use this Vedic mantra, we can use the Moola mantra for chanting, the root mantra Gam, beginning with Tat Purushaya Vidmahe. So Vedic pundits chant the Gayatri mantra. Mantras of only name and form are devoid of any virtues. There are no rules for chanting the name as mantra, name of the Ishvara or God as mantra. Nama and Kirtan yagnas to ancestors are also done. We also know when after the demise of a person, we conduct kirtans or even reading of Puranas. The Karma and Upasana Yagnas, according to the Vedas, cause no harm to living organism. And so they are considered the best form of a yagna. So yagna need not necessarily be only having yagna kund and fire. Even reading of the Puranas, Itihasas and Namakirtans is also a form of yagna. Before the worship of Brahmanaspati, during the period of Deva Upasanas, sacrifice of cows was part of the Karma Kanda. Without killing, yagna was not considered complete. So Rigveda mantras and Gayatri are equal in their importance. No doubt in both cases, the Moola mantra of the Lord is truth. Among yagnas of the Lord, offering mantra japa is called Japa Yagna. In a Brahma Swarupa Yagna, Prasthanatraya is the format. The Vedanta Shastras of the Yugacharya are second to none. That is, every yuga, a period of a period, depending upon whether it is a Treta Yuga, Kruta Yuga, the Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kal Yuga, there is a Yugacharya. So, according to the advice or according to the guidance of the Yugacharya, these are determined. In Upanishads, the first oblation is stated thrice. In the Gita oblation, it is said twice. So in the darshanas, the oblation is three. Among the Upanishads, the Shatopanishad of the Supreme is generally is the one which is adopted. At home, one may worship separately according to what is a practice in the family. Upanishads of all the five gods are known. So these are those following the Shuddha Advaita worship the Supreme Brahmanaspati first. Darshanadvayam is best for gaining experiences in contemplation. That is the two darshanas. These darshanas enable contemplation on subjects deeply in states of samadhi. So also in the Advaita Gita, one can listen to all the six auxiliaries, but daily meditation and contemplation on those vakyas or on those statements is better than simply just listening and absorbing. That these alone, when you dwell deeply on each of these statements, can we get the knowledge. In fact, it is not just getting knowledge. Getting knowledge is just information. It's when we contemplate on the knowledge that it gets absorbed into our system and it becomes a part of our embodiment. So japa is also believed to lead to knowledge. Another opinion is to meditate upon the guna or the and nirguna or guna form or the nirguna aspect of that Brahma. One can ultimately attain the experience of that particular Brahma. If we say each of these Ishwaras are Brahmas. Shiva Brahma, Vishnu Brahma, Shakti Brahma, Surya Brahma and Ganesha Brahma. So each of this, if you want to attain an experience of the beingness of that Brahma, it can be possible only in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi state. So the next question which Sanaka asks is, "O Lord, please tell us about this dhyana. How to meditate? What is the dhyana yoga for attaining the experience of the divine?" Ganaka says, there are 10 steps in attaining, in the doing of dhyana. This will ultimately lead you to a supra-conscious meditative union, which is stated in Sanskrit as asampragnat samadhi. This is attained after attaining each of these steps. And then when you go to beyond that, we attain that peace, absolute peace. We begin with super-conscious meditative union, which is sampragnat samadhi. Sampragnat dhyana, and the dhyana should take you to the stage of samadhi. So there are 16 stages of experience in superconscious meditative union, that is sampragnat samadhi yoga, you can say, of which 8 are experienced through dhyana yoga and 8 are experienced beyond dhyana yoga, that is beyond utilization of tools. Comparatively, the 6 doctrines, the 6 siddhantas, they speak separately about each of them. In Nada Yoga also, a book was brought out last year by the Sanskrit University at Mylapore. The Smartas sing songs in praise of the Lord. Slightly different from praising Ganapa is Shambhava Yoga Marga, where they sing praises of Shiva. Again, Shakta Marga, they sing in praise of Shakti. Vaishnavas praise Hari, while Sauras praise Hamsaraj. Ganesha is present as Pancham in the form of Bindu at Mooladhar. In Atharvashishika, Mooladhara Stitosi Nityam. So, Rutam Vachmi, Satyam Vachmi. So that Ganesha is present at the Mooladhara, is a deity of the Mooladhara. Brahma is at Swadhisthana. Vishnu is present at Manipur. Shiva at Anahat. Ganesha with all three gunas is present at Vishuddhi. At Ajna Chakra is Nirguna Brahma, where it gets divided into two. The self-absorbed Supreme Brahma becomes the 12 deities who are the support of Mantra Japa during Manasa Puja. So each of our chakras, each of the energy centers in our body, right from Mooladhara to even Sahasrara, Agya Chakra we can take. There are deities. These are the Ishwaras, are the lords of each of these energy centers. So at Mooladhara we have Ganesh, at Swadhisthana we have Brahma, at Nabhi or Manipur we have Vishnu, at Anahat we have Shiva, at Vishuddhi we have Ganesha with all the three gunas. And at Agya Chakra, it is split into two, and it governs the. Actually, it gets two, means it gets split and goes to the opposite brain regions. So at Agya, and then at Agya, it also there are 12 deities, and these 12 deities are this 11 of them are all across this forehead. On top of the forehead, that is Ekadashi Rudra, 11 Rudras. They are all of them over here. So meditating on these 12 deities at the Ajna daily makes one's attention stable. And so there's always a rise and fall, an imbalance constantly taking place depending upon the circumstances we live in, the interactions we have with people, and anything from outside that influences us. So we need to keep them in balance and keep that attention steady so that these energies function in coordination. So those who are observing the Nada Yoga can become the best of Ganapats by repeating the swaras in ascending or descending order repeatedly. So each of the energy centers have their own swaras. Muladhara is the Sa, Swadhisthana is Re. Again, in Swadhisthana, you have left Swadhisthana where it is Komal Re. Then you have Central Swadhisthana, medium Re. And right Swadhisthana, and then you come to Navi where you have Ga. Ga also has two Ga. Then that is Komal Ga and Ga. Then you have Ma, Anahat Ma, where Ma is middle ma and tivra ma, that is mama, which is there. And then you go to a vishuddhi where you have pa, sapa, pa is a constant, so that pa. And agya chakra is the again, when you sing the of the medium octave, you can address this the on your forehead, but the Agnya Chakra at the forehead. But when you take the of the lower octave, then it can touch your Muladhara. It can connect to the Muladhara. So, so these swaras, practicing of these swaras helps to keep these chakras stable and focused, and it's very useful for Ganapatas who want to attain liberation. The single lettered mantra japa is most popular amongst yogis, Gang. So also is Tarakaraj, that is moon for the Smartas. Ganesha is at the Mooladhara as per the Manusmriti. At Swadhisthana is Padmaja, the lotus born Brahma. At Manipur is the husband of Rama. that is the Shakti of that is Vishnu, and Anahat is Mahesh, and Vishuddhi is Bhaskara. These are other names of the same Ishwaras. And Agnya is Pranava, which is very popular. So Om, when we chant, it activates the Agnya Chakra. Then at Brahmarandra, that is at the Sahasrar, we have Ham Sham. Hum Sham, actually it is at the Agnya Chakra, Hum Sham, because there are it has two parts. Hum Sham, the petals are two petals at the Agnya Chakra, so Hum Sham are there here. And at Brahmarandra, even if you chant Om, it results in the activation of all the 1,000 petals. As per Shivaraja Yoga, at Vishuddhi is Maheshwara. So Vishuddhi, Maheshwara. At Agnya is Sadashiva and Parashiva is at Brahmarandra. Doing japa of the 5-lettered mantra Om Namah Shivaya makes one a Shambhava. So is it for Mahashaktas to attain Parambika at Brahmarandra. So whichever Ishvara you're aiming to attain, whichever is your deity, your favorite deity of worship, you have to use suitable mantras at the appropriate chakras to attain them. For this, meditate for a Shakti, meditate on the 15-lettered mantra or Maya Bija serially. Maya Bija is Kha Kha Ga Ga Nga Cha Cha Ja Ja Nya Tha Tha Tha. So how do you say that? Om Kham Om Om Kham Om Om Gang Om Om Khang Om. So that way, each of the Kaka Gaga you chant for Maya, activation of Mahamaya. The Vaishnavas meditate on Hariraj at Vishuddhi. Vishuddhi is also is a place for Krishna. So at when you are chanting the mantra for Bija mantras for Vishuddhi, it is the I, E, E, U, E, I, O, that one. So im, om, rum, ah. So these are the sounds for Vishuddhi Chakra. In a union of Shripani and Baladeva, Vasudeva is in the Turiya state at the Agnya. So when the worshippers of Vishnu, when they are meditating, they should meditate Vishuddhi Chakra with these Bija mantras of to Amaha. And at the Agya Chakra, Vasudeva is present in the Turiya state at Agya Chakra. So you worship that aspect of the deity. At Brahmadeva, Vishnu becomes Paravasudeva, the regulator. So whether chanting the 8-lettered mantra or worship by the 12-step process, Hamsaraj of Saura is Gajanana at Mooladhara. So this we finished Vishnu, earlier Shiva, Shakti, and then now we come to Saura, Surya. So when you're worshipping, if Surya is your favorite Ishvara and you're worshipping Ishvara, then use the 8-lettered mantra or the 12-step process. Then Hamsaraj is the aspect of Surya, and Surya and Surya is Gajanana in Mooladhara. So this as because Gajanana was born to Surya as Surya's son in answer to a boon. So the aspect of Gajanana. Gajanana has various incarnations. So the as when you for Sauras who are worshippers of Surya. Surya is your favorite deity. Worship the Gajanana's mantra at Muladhar. At Swadhisthana, it is Brahma Surya. Then at Nabi, it is Surya Narayana at Manipur. Shiva Surya at Anahat, Guna Surya at Vishuddhi, Nirguna Brahma at Agya, and Brahmarandra, it is the Turya state of the Purusha. So this established the truth of Surya, or then when you follow these stages, you will attain the experience of beingness of the Surya Brahma. So it is possible to attain the Yoga Siddhi through the 8-letter process. Taking its support the attainment of Niralamba, that is with non-stop meditation or chanting, it is possible to gain that level of command. Since Shakti is the doer, there is only one support. As for the Vedas, Antakarana or the subtle body is in the heart. So your Sukshma Sharira is actually located in your heart. So in reaching the highest points or which are called padas, the mind is located in the body beginning from Muladhara. So when we do meditation, we often wonder where is our mind? The mind seems to be wandering. It seems to be all over the place. So that is why in order to bring that mind focused on a particular place, gather it together and focus it on the Muladhara and till the highest point at the heart. So for those who are beginning in meditation, who find difficulty in even getting that focus or gathering that mind, begin with focusing on your breathing. So when you inhale, you begin with a count which is most comfortable to you. So it could be 1 to 7. And it could be as simple as just mentally counting it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just inhale that much and exhale that much. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So continuously you count this 1 to 7 continuously. So, and then after some, say, when you are comfortable there, when you attain the rhythm of that 7, then go to 8, then go to 9, go to 10. So you can go up to 10. Don't go, if it's not necessary to go beyond 10 to get a focused mind. So this is sufficiently long enough. Don't hurry up the numbers. If you are falling short of your breath, don't hurry up the number. Keep that steady count, steady rhythm of the count, and you completely breathe out to the end of that count, whatever you have chosen. You can't breathe in between just like that. So you have to finish that count. So begin with where you're comfortable and progressively go forward. So in this way, you can develop that focus of the mind. And after developing focus of that mind, that rhythm of breathing, you will suddenly find that you are no more thinking of anything. No, there are no thoughts in the mind at all. Means your mind has become so rhythmic and this pattern of just observing the breathing. And after some time, after some days or depending upon your level of practice, you just let go of the numbering also, and suddenly you will be able to separate a witness. You begin to witness yourself. So that is called Sakshi Bhava. And in that Sakshi Bhava, you can focus on any center in your body. So now let us proceed to the next question which Sanaka is asking. Please tell me about Yoga Deva. Ganaka replies, When a yogi practices meditation diligently with the support of superconscious meditative unit, that is Samprajnat Samadhi Yoga, he gets himself established in the next stage. He becomes ready for the next stage, that is supraconscious meditative union, that is Asamprajnat Samadhi, which is again another 8 steps. So Dhyana Yoga involves yoga. Dhyana Yoga, that is the Samprajnat Samadhi Yoga, involves stages where we meditate on the Saguna aspect. That is the aspect of the Ishvara with attributes. So you may look at the feet of that Ishvara, or you may look at the some particular weapon in the hand, or his any mudras, or the face, or whichever way you like to look at that Ishvara. So that is using some aspect of that Ishvara, and you meditate on that. So a jiva in meditation becomes steady in concentration and consciousness. When mental worship is accompanied by japa, the mind and body get united. This sets in motion an upward ascension in enlightenment and contemplation through yoga. The varnashramas based on the caste are all secondary features. Earlier, this Brahmanaspati, our details about Brahmanaspati was mentioned first in the Yoga Pradopanishad. Yoga Prada and its Mimamsas are the instructional guidance of Mudgala, while Yoga Gita of Ganesha is a bestower of that yogic knowledge. The 3 steps of ascension and bestower of yoga for all the 6 doctrines, 6 philosophies are separate and independent. Now Sanaka is asking, he's going to the next subject, Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga and how to become nishtha in that how to become steadfast in that jnana or in that knowledge. So he's saying, oh teacher, please tell us about the character of jnana nishtha. Ganaka said, one who has actualized knowledge is called a jnani. For such a jnani, the yogic path leads to the actualization of Brahma because that knowledge provides the base for reaching it through the practice of yoga. A jnana nishta is one who is established in contemplation, which is accepted as a path of ascension in all the 6 doctrines. In all 6 philosophies, the jnana is considered as the path by which we can move upwards or evolve to our higher states of consciousness. Those who follow one's own path, means they have, this is the way I will do. So if they follow their own path, they are known as Dvaits. Shuddha Advaita is the knowledge of all the 5 Ishwaras and their specialities. In the knowledge process of Shuddha Advaita, knowledge of the 5 gods is necessary. So you should know the Ishvara who is your favorite deity on whom you want to attain. The Shuddha Advaitin are known as Smartas. They worship Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is a path of mere appearance. No, Smartas, Shuddha Advaitins are known as Smartas. Hiranyagarbha, the path of Hiranyagarbha, is a path of mere appearance. And man's opinion is based on his own thoughts about whatever he wants, about any subject like Varnashrama, Dharma. So he who is established in the knowledge is devoid of dualities of Dharma. Those who are not eligible for contemplation are those who follow the Pashanda Marga. The knowledge body is also called the subtle body. Doing japa of the Moola mantra of any deity of your favorite deity sharpens one's intellect. During archana for a person with a concentrated mind based on the vision of Varnashrama, it is like infusing prana into the daily activities. According to the suktas, what is mentioned in the suktas of the Upanishads. So the eyes are for seeing the Lord in various ways, darshan, indicated by the 1,000 names. We have the 1,000 names of Vishnu, of Shakti, of every Ishvara. So these 1,000 names are describing the various aspects of your Ishvara, and so it gives a visual effect. While the nose is for smelling the fragrance of the ancient Gita. Tongue for speaking about the Shastras, Puranas and Itihasas, that is for narrating or reading or reciting. Ears are for listening to the stories of the past, and tongue for reciting and speaking about them. So the house is for service. Yeah, the house where you stay is for service. The arms and legs are to salute the smritis. Merely applying the tilak on the forehead and saying the linga to be illusory are signs of avaidikas who deserve to be condemned. So who would condemn these aspects? Each of these aspects are important because they contribute in focusing our attention and uplifting in a holistic way. Now Sanaka asks, please tell us about the nature of Upasana Purusha. Ganaka says, the gross body of the deity of worship is made up of the 5 elements, whose worship is a Panchanga Upasana. When we do Upasana worship, it is usually where there is a physical, it becomes a physical body of, or an idol of worship. So there is the 5 elements are there. When we worship the 5 elements, it's called Panchanga Upasana. The Anushtana, the vows you take or the observances that you're decided to do are to be done as obtained through initiation. That is through a diksha based on the dharma. Whichever dharma is there, if you get initiated, if you get a diksha, it becomes more powerful. This includes chanting of mantras mentally by touching the appropriate parts of the body. So when we touch the various parts of the body, when we say the nyasa and everything, it has that much effect, more effect. So this, when we do this, this is a form of upasana for a jnana nishta, the one who wants to follow follow jnana yoga, establish himself in the knowledge first, and then worship. So then he has to. This is the form of that upasana or steps in the worship. So we were talking about worship. Worship means it involves japa, mantra japa. So Sanaka asks, oh teacher, please tell us the number of times a mantra is to be chanted for attaining the various siddhis. So this is one of the favorite questions that we ask whenever we go to a teacher or a guru or anyone who gives us mantra. We often ask, how many times I should chant in a day? Or how many times maximum I should chant, and like we want to know our target. We always want to know what is our goal. So when we can attain the full effect of that mantra. So also Sanaka asks just the question that arises in our minds also. He asks, tell me the number of times a mantra should be chanted for attaining the various siddhis. Ganaka replies, the single lettered Maha Mantra should be chanted 100 crore times, without which a Purusha cannot attain liberation. The Gang, the single lettered mantra, Maha Mantra, whichever, for Ganesha it is Gang, but for whatever the single lettered mantra is, that mantra should be chanted 100 crore times, without which Purusha cannot be attained for liberation. The 6-lettered Maha Mantra should be chanted 60 crore times. The Mahaganapati mantra is to be chanted a crore times as said by its seer. Seer is one who has who has been able to visualize the deity of the mantra, or is able to he has repeated it so many times that mantra manifests itself before a person, so then he is known as a seer of that mantra. When you chant it in that number of times, you will be able to see, or that mantra will give its siddhis to the person. Rigvedic and Gayatri mantras are also to be chanted as many times as described by the seer of the mantra. That mantra itself, it will be mentioned, in the Falashruti it is mentioned the number of times you chant the mantras. So, the Sahasranama mantra is to be chanted 1 lakh times. The Vedapadas Brahmanaspati Suktam is said to bestow siddhis when it is chanted 1 lakh times. Brahmanaspati Suktam. Chanting of the Panjara Kavach 3 lakh times will bring the desired siddhis. Chanting the Gita, Ganesha Gita, systematically bestows the siddhi of knowledge of principles. Itihasas and Puranas say 100 times. Service prayers should be done 1 lakh times for siddhis. Reading it 10,000 times on Chaturthi is a bestower of siddhis. Performing Manasa Puja. The Manasa Puja was, you can find details of it in the Mudgal Puran as done by Prushundi. He introduced the Manasa Puja of Ganesha, and it was worshipped and written by Grutsamada Rishi. Doing this 10,000 times with total devotion has power to bestow siddhis. Yantra puja should be done 25,000 times. This puja is a reflection of the roots of Shvetarka tree. Doing the puja with red lotus 1 lakh times will bestow siddhis. Doing Vignesha puja during Shravan, the month of Shravan, and Dwar Pita Shankara puja 100 times will bring siddhis. So does Kalasha Puja, puja with the Lord's favorite leaves, mantra japa before and after the puja, and Ashtanga Puja. All these are included when a person has an appropriate Kalpa Diksha. See, the process of Diksha, there are different varieties of Dikshas. So, the simplest Diksha would be a Samaya Diksha, that is just using a lamp as a witness. Just a lamp is lit and the Guru gives you a mantra, or he initiates you into that tradition in whichever way, like touching the forehead, or generally touching the Agnya chakra. So that way they will give you the Diksha in the presence of a lamp, Samaya Diksha. So these, and at that time they will tell you how to chant what mantra, and the stage, the how the steps to be followed for worship. So these should be followed to attain the siddhi, necessary siddhi, or the effect of that mantra or the upasana. The worshipper has to do the worship after applying sandalwood paste on 12 parts of the body with mantras. When there are mantras to say when you apply on the left upper arm, the right upper arm, then you have the forearm. This. So each part while applying, even if for Shiva you may apply vibhuti, that basma, for this, or you may apply chandan, or you may apply the sindhu, depending on whatever deity you are worshipping. So when these are mantras when you are doing individual worship. So if we are having a collective worship, that is collectively you have organized a group and you're doing a collective worship, then Sanaka asked, "Oh Lord, please tell us about the number of time mantras should be chanted during a collective worship." Ganaka replies, 1 crore repetitions of the single lettered mantra is generally popular. The six-lettered mantra count is 60 lakh times. For others, it is as described by the seer of the mantra. Repetition of the Atharva Sheesh 1,000 times is considered very great. Chanting the Gita 100 times and observing the 100 Chaturthis are popular. Doing monthly Archana 12 times, reading the Puranas 10 times, doing Manasa Puja 3,000 times is a bestower of siddhis. It is popular to do mantra japa practice, particularly. You can decide for yourself, I'm going to do this many mantra japa by predetermined figure, and then religiously follow that number of times during a day. So, say for example, if you have decided to do 11 lakh times, so that if you want to, then you split it up as to how much you will be required to do in a day to finish. Say if you have to, you may have to do 30 malas or from 21 malas, whichever you decide, and then accordingly you can space it to attain that siddhi during a given time period, so that we don't just allow it to lapse, like allow the it to drag on. So if we can have a controlled mantra japa practice, so that we can know that for a definite period, so then there will be a sense of commitment, a sense of discipline, that these are all the qualities that we develop by doing these practices. Then Sanaka asked, "Oh Lord, please tell what to do. Please tell about the single lettered mantra process." So Kanaka replies, "Do Ekakshara mantra japa at 6 kalas. That is 6 time periods. That is before dusk, before dawn, mid morning, afternoon, dusk, and before sleeping. So you divide it into 6 time periods, and Sandhya thrice a day. Mantra Sandhya is essential before doing Ekakshara Mantra Japa. Dawn is the best time. Morning is considered the best. Evening and morning is medium, while chanting in the middle of intimacy is degrading. So don't chant while engaged in intimacy. Doing the Ekakshara Mantra Japa 22,000 times is good. Several thousand times is medium. Doing it 1,000 times is poor. 300 is very low, while 100 times is wickedness and is considered as good as nothing. So, experts in mantra japa say that mantra japa should be done according to your time available. It should be done seated near the idol and continuously. There are no restrictions regarding time, oh Brahmin. Particularly, like I remember when I was doing the one mantra japa during the COVID period. So I would do it all the time. Means there was always a mala in my hand. Even if I have to go to the to buy it to the grocery stores, I would have that doing the mantra japa. So that is how within a short period of time I was able to cover. Say I think within about 8 or 9 months, maybe I was able to cover, or maybe just around 1 year, or just borderline 11 lakh 11,111. So like maybe more also, but then that was my target. So like if you decide and then space it, and then it becomes you feel that when you're not doing the mantra japa, you feel a bit this empty, so you want to do it, so it becomes that kind of a situation. So so doing japa at there are no restrictions as such, actually. One can do japa as one likes. However, it is prohibited to do continuous japa at night during the eighth part of the day for a period of 3 hours. But I remember that when I was reading the book on Rumi, he used to do the mantra japa even in sleep, so much so that even when he was asleep, his body was chanting the mantra continuously. So there is no such restriction as to when to chant. But in the Shastras it is mentioned that the eighth part of the day for a period of 3 hours, that is something after midnight to 3 o'clock or before, just before that, so that time not to do. Doing japa near an idol of a deity, including puja and japa, are to be avoided at night. But then Devi pujas, Bhagavati puja, and all are done at night. So, doing japa during prescribed times as part of one's duty during eclipses, on rising up at Brahmakala, on and before going to sleep, are all considered best for Ganapa. One can do Manasa Puja according to one's capacity till the time of death, till you die, you can keep doing. Praise the Supreme at dawn. One should then pass urine, stools after waking up. And this is usually done in the southwest direction. So check the location of the toilets in your house. And one should have proper bath, get cleansed, and brush the teeth after purification from dirt. Do Pancha Angasnana. Chanting mantras while bathing is better. After Tarpanam to the demigods, wear a pair of fresh clothes. Worship the deity as per one's Varnashrama Dharma and as advised by the Guru. Apply the tilak on the forehead. Wearing the tilak is prescribed for a Ganesha only or other marks of sandal or ashes. The Ganesha, that is a devotee of Ganesha, wears a sacred thread and robes seated on an asan of kusha grass facing north. He performs a puja of the idol installed in the east with appropriate mantras after cleansing the place. The Ganapat should do the Nyasa, that is chanting mantra and touching the various parts of the body for the internal and external matrukas. Mantra japa of the deity of worship, Sandhya as per the Vedas or the Tantras. This is followed by japa of Ganesh Gayatri and Moola mantra. After this, do japa of the Nama mantra and Sandhya according to Puranas. One should chant the kavach at the beginning of japa and hridayam at the end. Hridaya Stotra, Kavacha Stotra. Then mantra japa at dawn has to be done for a predetermined count. Say if you are doing one mala or two malas or five malas, do it at dawn before going to work. So this was the kind of the session on the Upasana worship. We shall see more of this in the next session. Jai Gajanan.